Chapter 1.2 Goodbye, Rashatta. She was not going to miss this apartment building. The smell of rotting fish that festered in the hall, the water dripping down the ceiling, and the constantly yelling neighbors. Even tonight they were at each other's throats. Good riddance, Retta said, shut the door, and it slammed behind her. Come on, even the last time? She tugged once, twice, and yanked back with the entirety of her weight. The wood frame cracked as she slammed the door shut. Hey! Her fighting neighbor stomped and yelled from above. Keep it down! Retta bit her tongue. Another fight with Crystal and she'd miss her tight schedule. Red ran down the stairs, and the wood creaked with each step. I said... Yeah, I heard you, Crystal, she yelled back, running out the front door. She stepped out the same time an old diesel truck sputtered past her, spewing a black cloud of smog into her face. She coughed a fit, waved the exhaust away, and pulled a mask from her bag. It was wishful thinking to expect clean air. The streets were as filthy as ever, and even the low-hanging fog couldn't hide it. Junkies sat on raw, cracked pavement, with tiny patches attached to the back of their necks. Reality-bending drugs seeped into their spines, and plastic casings lined the storm drains. They were high on Dreamweaver, staring into space, dreaming of futures they'd never have. It broke Retta's heart seeing them. Interstellar drug lords peddled Dreamweaver and milked junkies raw. They were stuck here, abandoned like the rest of Earth. There were no jobs, no supplies. The only way to a future was in space, and the only way to space was the lottery. People were desperate, and desperation ran all hours of the day. Even then, at midnight, junkies gambled on a golden ticket. The only store still open on her block was Rashatta's corner store, where the same junkies begging for food were dropping pennies for a ticket. Come on, Rashatta, one of the junkies pleaded, hunched over the counter. Just one ticket. Swear I'll be good for it next time. The older man with his wiry mustache and frayed hair kept his arms crossed. You said that last time. He noticed Retta walk in, made eye contact, and nodded for help. She knew the sign. He asked for her help before. She checked her link and had a few minutes to spare. What she had in mind wasn't the same as him. Hey, Rash. Oh, Retta. He ignored the junkie and turned to Red. Yes, how may I help you? I still have some credits left, right? From the trade-in? Yes. Would you like something? Maybe. Yeah. Can you get him a lottery ticket, please? Use whatever I've left on my account. I won't need it. The junkie looked as surprised as Rashatta looked irritated. Yet he plugged a lottery chip into the register computer, watched it flicker with a holographic spinning number until it settled on 1313. Here you are, he said with disdain. Good luck. The junkie took it from him with a glint of light in his eyes and his hope restored. Wow. Thank you. What's your name? Retta. She shook his hand. Bonzo. Well, Bonzo, I hope you end up in space. Find me if you do. Thank you. He radiated with warmth, cradling the lottery chip in his hands as if it were gold, and walked out, brimming with hope. As he walked away, she felt a warm, pulsating glow coming from her breast pocket. It left as quickly as it came, and all that was there was the dark, wooden baton she had stowed inside. But Rashatta was not happy. You're enabling them. I'm giving him a chance. Besides, I don't need it. Ugh. Rashatta furrowed his brow and massaged his temples. Both he and Retta knew they wouldn't agree. They always had clashing ideologies. Hey, Retta said, bringing him back to the present. I gotta go. You got everything? He ducked underneath the counter and pulled out a black plastic bag. Everything you need. You sure you're willing to give up your bike for this? I mean, I won't need a motorcycle in space, Rash. It'll do you better than me. But it's worth more than all this. Then give them out there some of it, she said. Rashatta sneered, and Retta teased. Unless you don't want my bike. All right. He relented. Fine. So I'll pick it up at the starport? Yeah. That'll be my final ride. And then Shirley's all yours. Aw, kid, he said, and for the first time ever, came around his counter. You'll do great. Thanks, Rash. I'll tell Mom you said hi. Let her know I grew out the mustache, too. Why tell when I can show? Retta pulled out a photo she took of an unsuspecting Rashatta. When did you... If I'm going to be as good as Mom, I gotta practice now. Rashatta smiled with pride, and Retta gave him a great, big hug, squeezing him tight and long. Thanks again. For everything. Retta left the store, hearing the final doorbell chime as she exited. Her motorcycle was chained to the decaying tree outside the shop. Tree roots cracked the sidewalk pavement, and brown weeds poked through, tainted by the polluted air. She fumbled in her bag for her keys, when behind her came a new, doped junkie. Hey, little girl. Heard you gave Bonzo a ticket. It'd be a shame if I didn't get mine. Ask Rashatta. He has extra credits. Yeah, well, we don't get along too hot. I'll just take my credits from you. I don't have any left. I doubt that. It was such a nice bike. She knew violent undertones when she heard them. I don't have time for this. Go ask Rashatta. Nah. He stepped forward, and Retta instinctively pulled out her knife and pointed at him. Oh, how intimidating, he said. Her link glowed, and the blade burst into color as a red-hot, sizzling laser encased the outer edge of the knife. It radiated, illuminating her hand. How about now? The junkie snickered, showing his rotting teeth through his crooked smile. At her core, she felt bad for him. She'd rather he walk away, but instead he came closer, step by step, as if the knife was a toy. Red held her ground like a statue, tip pointed square to his chest. The junkie kept his advance until he heard a low, rumbling growl come up from behind him, catching his attention. You like picking on little girls? A deep, drawled voice said behind the junkie. A flash of white fur pounced. It sank its fangs into his calf and tore his legs out from underneath him. The junkie screamed for help, pushing the hound's snout away, but unable to release his leg from its death grip. Please! Please! Oh God! Stop! Stop! Hey! Retta yelled at the man. Call her off! It's over! The man regarded her with little interest, whistled, and his white German shepherd opened its jaw, snarling with blood sprayed on its white fur. Good girl, Alpha, the man said and walked up to Red. She recognized him. He was the pilot of the ship, the person she was supposed to be following. I'm impressed you stood your ground, he said, his attention drawn to her knife. But the streets ain't for little girls. Best get home now. The alcohol on his breath singed her nostrils. He passed by, patting her on the back, and whistled to call his hound to his side. Alpha bit the air, intimidating the junkie, and then ran to the pilot's side as they disappeared into the low-hanging fog. Wait, she called out, but he ignored her and kept walking. He had no idea who I was, Retta wondered. So why would Mom want me to find a ship? That answer had to wait. He was leaving, and she needed to be on that ship.